Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lisa Jang, Yin Yoga teacher trainer, Yin Yoga teacher, as well as Yin Yoga practitioner. Today we'll be doing a little bit of myofascial release, but mostly a Yin practice. For today, you'll need 2 blocks, a blanket, and a pillow, hopefully a firmer one. We use the yoga bolster, but you can also grab a cushion from your couch. We're going to start off right away. This is a sequence that I taught earlier in the week, and I absolutely love it. And hopefully, you will love it as well. So, let's go ahead and come to our first pose, which is going to be our reverse angel prayer pose, where we have our fingers loosely kind of threaded through, right? Or you can have your palms together to get a wrist stretch. I prefer my fingers like this or my arms down by my side with my palms facing up. So I have internal rotation of the upper arm bones. The blocks are going to head into the front of your shoulders right here. Okay. And I'll show you a different variation if you don't have any blocks. Okay. We're going to start off laying down prone on our belly and take a look at how I'm coming down onto the yoga blocks. The width of them is going to depend on your shoulder, the girth of your shoulders. And from here, we're going to take either arms by our sides or take your hands, so up here, or your hands are going to be just, again, alongside your body, palms facing up, or again, having your fingers loosely kind of wrapped in and let your forehead rest down towards the earth. I love this one just because if I have a lot on my mind, I can just really kind of allow my mind, all the thoughts that are running through my mind to melt into the earth. So it's, a kind of a just seeing, just noticing as you're here if there are a lot of thoughts on your mind and allowing yourself to melt in. Again, this is like a metaphor of allowing those thoughts to be absorbed by Mother Earth. Now I'm looking at my watch here. That's why my head is lifted. But keep your head down, and hopefully this is comfortable for you. If not, you can always place a blanket on top of the blocks, and that will also blunt some of the sensation of a little bit of myofascial releasing towards the front of your shoulders. Now, if this doesn't work for you, you can always instead take anahastasana on your knees. Make it be walking your hands forward on the blocks. The blocks can go maybe on its first setting, the lowest setting. And then as you're here, allowing your forehead to rest down towards the ground. Alternatively, you may want to come into child's pose, and that's okay as well. I'm looking for more of having this prone position where your mind and your thoughts, the chatter in your mind, just start to dissipate into the earth, right? So again, a metaphor of just kind of letting go of the busy day, right? Getting rid of maybe a lot of the thoughts. They take up a lot of energy, if you notice, and some of those thoughts don't need your energy. So as you're here grounding in, notice if those thoughts, those repeating stories, are valid, or are they taking a lot of your energy and your time? And if they are, if you're noticing that, right, then we want to climb out of that. I call that kind of like a brain fog, right? The fog, and we want to lift that fog so everything becomes a little bit more crystal clear. So let your purpose today be releasing any of that, the thoughts that take up and drain your energy, so that you can find this clarity for yourself. You've got another minute here. So as you're here, take a slow, deep inhale through your nose and a slow, deep exhale out through your lips. Okay. And then soften through the sides of your neck. Finding more ease. Breathing in and breathing out.
Take a couple more cycles of breath here before we shift into our next pose. And one more time, deep in breath and slow deep out breath. Now, if your fingers are wrapped behind you, loosely wrapped behind you, go ahead and just allow the arms to slide back by your sides. Letting go again of anything that does not serve you. Let this practice be one that is nourishing for what you need today. Let's go ahead and slowly come all the way up to all fours.
And maybe an easy cat-cow as you're here, breathing in. And then slowly rounding through the spine, breathing out. A couple more times, deep in breath. And then deep out breath. Okay, so now from here, grab your pillow, and we're heading to open wing pose with a variation. And this is completely optional with the block. What I'm doing here is trying to create a little bit of myofascial release again into the anterior delt and a little bit in towards the inseam of the arm, then the biceps. So with open wing, I'm using the block as a tool for myofascial release, and this is going to be for my head. Now the block as you're here can be this horizontal, or you can have it longwise, depending. You're going to be on top of the block, depending on if that feels comfortable for you. I do have the microphone here, so hopefully I'm going to start on my left side so it doesn't get on the microphone, because I do want you to hear me. Okay, so as you come down onto the floor prone again, you're going to extend, hopefully you guys can see this, you're going to extend the arm instead of to the side. So this is traditional open wing, which you can definitely do instead. The arm is going to go down by your hip. Let me turn the other way. Okay, so I'm doing the non-microphone side, and you can see it on this side. So this time, if I'm on the block, I'm going to have it sideways. And I'm going to take my arm, you see that in front of my shoulder on the block, and then this is going to be for my head. And I'm going to slowly roll on top of the block. I'm just going to scooch my hips. You can see I'm scooching my hips in this quasi fetal position. And I'm getting, as I'm here, as I'm rocking from side to side, right into the front of the shoulder and into my biceps too. So I'm pressing my right hand on the ground so that I can get some leverage there, because if I don't, I'm going to fall onto the floor. So you're going to have to use a little bit of yang energy through that right arm as you press down. Feel free to play with, again, the length of the block. Let me check the time, make sure that we're even on both arms, both sides. So notice as I'm here, I can take my block here. See how it covers the length of my arm? And then I can get more in towards the bicep as I'm here. And which feels so good. I can rotate my arm. If you can see in the camera, I'm rotating my arm so I can get a little bit of that glide of the fascia using the block as a tool in my open wing. Breathing in and then slowly breathing out. Now, here's another option. If you feel steady, you're going to take the other arm. This is going to be my right arm. I'm going to wrap it behind me. It also gives me a little bit of leverage there. I can even hold on to my opposite elbow. And then in this one too, I can even collapse my hands so I get a deeper shoulder opening. And I kind of have to kind of stag my legs here so I can really find a little bit more balance. Again, choosing what works for your body as you're here. Now stay where you're at. Again, you can go with that the other variation that I showed you without the props. You have 20 more seconds there to go on this side. At any time during the practice, guys, feel free to press pause on the video. I think I'm getting too close to the screen so you guys can see me. Feel free to press pause on the video. Okay. So take one more slow, deep in breath. And as you breathe out, slowly start to come out of the pose. Okay. Or pause. Okay. Notice how you feel in the shoulders. Right. Take a moment here in child's pose and just breathe. Right. So again, discerning what's best for you. What is, maybe that was a little bit stressful for you. So then you took the first variation, which is fine. Okay. Again, I'm here to make sure that you feel replenished as opposed to depleted, and to distinguish in your mind what is taking up your energy, your mind, your concentration, right? Your focus, removing that fog. Okay, second side, again, the block right here or the block here. Now, my microphone is going to be in the way. Maybe I'll switch it off. I'll switch it off. So side number 2. Okay. So I'm here. Let me check the time. Okay, perfect. And then I'm going to be here on top of my shoulder, and I'm going to roll off to the side, slide this pillow. You can also use the other block. If the pillow's too low, use a block. I actually like the pillow. See, this is where you have to experiment. I like the pillow better. Okay, and then legs can be however you like. Again, open wing pose variation as you're here. Option to wrap the top arm behind you. Option to interlace your fingers, right? Choosing what works for you. And then breathing, feeling the front of your chest and your front of your shoulders open up. Feeling a gentle press of the fascia in the front of the arm being stimulated by the press of the block, right? All of it should feel good, maybe a little bit uncomfortable, but it should feel healing and helpful. Now make sure you're breathing as you're here. Okay. Stay where you're at. I'm just checking the time. You have another minute here to go. You can experiment with maybe changing the amount of load that you need, or changing the orientation of the block, so that maybe you start to get a little bit of a different different load of the tissue, or different angles. I love this one. Deep in breath and deep out breath. Already feeling a sense of clarity, a sense of relief. I'm going to take just a couple more cycles of breath. Yeah, a couple more cycles of breath. And then as you're ready, go ahead and slowly start to come out of the pose. Maybe take a child's pose, maybe pause the video, maybe stay in it longer if that really was something that was helpful for you. Yeah. And then from here, we're going to go ahead and take our pillow. This is going to be our last pose. This is a short practice today. I'm going to place the blocks on the pillow like so. Okay, and the idea here is my shoulders are going to go on the blocks, a nice press of the tissues behind the shoulders, and these are going to go at the suboccipital ridge. right at the ridge, not the neck, so the ridge of the skull. Go ahead and slowly back in to your props. Okay. And then you can space the blocks as you're here, right? So I'm going to kind of get them in towards the bottom ridge. Okay. So I'm feeling the shoulders being gently pressed in. Feet can be on the ground, knees pointing up if you like. And as you're here, turn your head from side to side. You might need to lift, kind of slipping a little bit. I'm going to go back in, shimmy back in. Okay. And then as you're here, turn your head a little bit. You might need to shift your head back towards let's start off with the left side. Okay. And I'm going to give you an option as you're here. You can keep your legs how they are, or feet are going to be mat width. And the knees are going to head into our windshield wiper twist. Let me get comfortable. If by all means that right knee doesn't feel good in this one, grab another pillow or cushion to place underneath your right knee. Okay. And then as you're here, allow your head just to rest into the blocks. The blocks are used as a myofascial release, as a way to release that clutter in the mind, right? And so we start to release that fog. It's almost like I like to use another analogy of a snow globe being shaken, and then when you put it down and let it rest, the snow starts to come down and lay onto the bottom of the figurine of the globe. And then you're able to see the scene more clearly. So just imagine that, or just imagine the fog starts to clear as you become a little bit more in tune with uh, the the messages, maybe it's the universe messages, maybe as you're here tuning into the frequency, that signal of connecting inwards. Now, by all means, if this becomes too much for too long, like you can always remove the blocks and just focus on windshield wiper twists. But from here, let's see, we've got one more cycle of breath there. I'm not going to be here for very long, unless you have your knees knocked in. Otherwise, I'm going to change the positioning of my legs so I can get a little bit of release in the left hip flexor and the left lateral part of my quad. So take your time as you're here, bring your legs back to center, and then reset your head as you're here. Move your hips slightly towards the left, okay? And then slowly drop both legs towards the right side as you're here. Feel free just to kind of fix your blocks as you're here. You can reach your upper arms overhead, like so, or allow yourself as you're here just to the shoulder blades to rest down. I'm going to turn my head slightly now towards the right, so I'm getting a little bit of a different spot. And I'm getting a little bit behind the ear as well, the kind of underneath, if you can see, it's hitting a little bit under into a different spot, which feels good. So I'm showing you my left side. This is where the block is hitting on my right side, if you want to quickly look at the screen. Otherwise, just stay where you're at. Again, this is more so about the experience, making sure it feels good for you, as well as really helpful. Breathing in and slowly breathing out. As you breathe in, you'll start to feel your shoulder blades expand into the blocks. As you breathe out, you'll feel a sense of traction in the base of your skull, surrendering there. You've got another 30 seconds here to go. By all means, you can always stay if this is really something, once again, that is really helpful to remove any brain fog, any of that, um, the chatter, the ongoing chatter in the mind. Now, as you're ready, taking your time, again, feel free to press pause to bring your legs back to center, your head back to center. And then just roll off to the side. Roll off to the side, fetal position, so you're off your blocks. Remove them, okay? And then a moment in Shavasana. Really short practice today. Feel free to do another practice of mine. If you want to do lower body, there is a separate one for that. Maybe a half an hour one that I have there on my YouTube channel, okay? But take a moment being about 5 minutes is my recommendation for Shavasana as you're here. Already feeling the global effects of the practice, right? We started off right away with our reverse angel prayer pose and went to our open wing, and then we went into windshield wiper with the myofascial release at the base of the skull. Okay. So again, 5 minutes is my recommendation for Shavasana. But this is where I leave you. Again, this is a practice that I did. Actually, part of it, it's not the whole practice, but this is where we got into really kind of clearing that brain fog, right? Releasing that so that you have clarity, discerning what is taking your mind's energy. Like when we think about things, so much takes up so much energy, and it draws us maybe into a space where it pulls you down. And so when you come out of it, there's so much more clarity. And it just, for me, this practice, especially coming right away prone, gave me so much more focus during the day. So hopefully this practice is just as beneficial for you as it was for me and for my students. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please subscribe, press subscribe so that you can get all the new videos that I release going forward. Anyways, I do have a Yin Yoga teacher training happening September 19th through the 21st in Danville, California. Hopefully, if you're around, register for that at joyayoga.com/academy. Otherwise, keep subscribing, keep practicing as well. Practice is so important, and balancing out your nervous system. Again, thank you, and thank you for joining in. My name is Lisa Jang. Namaste.